Well, welcome, Algebra 1 students, and actually anybody else who would like to learn a little bit more about factoring. We're going to cover some greatest common factors. We're going to do a little factoring with an area model, factoring by grouping, and then touch on some key features of quadratics. So we're going to jump right in here, and this is for week 1 in algebra. And also, if you're a geometry student, doing a little bit of review, I might have asked you to come over here and take a look at some of these problems as well. So factoring is a really, really important skill as you continue to move forward in your study of mathematics. So here we go. When we are factoring out a greatest common factor, as we are here with this particular problem, what we're looking for is the biggest value, the largest value that will divide evenly into 36, 54, and 63. So we're going to start with that. And you might think, well, maybe it's going to be 3. 3 might divide evenly. It might be 6. Or maybe it's going to be something different like 9. Okay, so the goal here is to kind of figure out for 36, for 54, and for 63 what common factors are so that we know what the largest number we can divide out of each value would be. So for 36 we have 1 and 36, we have 2 and 18, we have 3 and 12, right? We also have 4 times 9, and then of course we have 6 times itself is 36. So we have a lot of factors for 36 to choose from. What about 54? Let's try 54. We have 1 and 54, and 54 is even, so that means we have 2 and 27. That's gonna work. And what else? 3. How about 3? Does 3 go into 3 and I believe it's 18. 3 times 18 I think is 54. What about 4? I don't think 4 goes into that. I don't think 5 does. 6 times 9, that'll give us 54 as well. Okay, so we're starting to see some common factors come out of these particular problems. It looks like 18 is common. Looks like 9 is common here, 6 is common here. When you're looking for the greatest common factor, you're trying to pick the largest thing that you can pull out of each term. So let's try 63. We have, of course, 1 and 63. 1 times 63. 63 is not even, so 2 is not going to work. 3 will work. 3 times 21. 4, I don't think so. 5, 6, 7. Is 7 times 9 the very next one? I think it might be. Okay. So as you're thinking about what we can pull out of each of these terms, it looks like the largest that is common to all 3 is going to be this 9 right there. All right, so let's use that. Let's divide out a 9. Okay. And then we're going to also divide out the most x's that we can from each of these terms. And it looks like there's an x to the 4th here, an x to the 8th, an x to the 6th. So the most we could divide out of each term is an x to the 4th. And then the most we can divide out of y to the 4th, y to the 4th, and y to the 3rd would be a y cubed. So as you divide this particular term out of each of these 3 terms, we are going to put what is left in parentheses, separated by our addition signs. Okay, so 36 divided by 9 is 4. X to the 6th divided by x to the 4th, because you're subtracting your exponents, is going to leave us x squared. And y to the 4th divided by y cubed, again we are going to subtract our exponents, leaving us with y. Then we'll move on to this term. Okay, this one's an x. 54 divided by 9 gives us 6. And what else do we have? X to the 8th divided by x to the 4th is going to be, this with x to the 4th, 4 of those x's left. And y to the 4th divided by y cubed, again, you're subtracting your exponents. It looks like this. Remember when we did problems like this with exponents, and we ended up subtracting these exponents, leaving us with a value of y to the 1st. So that one's going to go in there. And then last but not least, dividing out a 9, we have 7. X to the 4th divided by x to the 4th is 1. And y cubed divided by y cubed is 1. So 7 is our final term here. Okay. You might want to take a minute if you'd like. This is your final answer. What you divided out times your result of dividing out that greatest common factor in parentheses. Take a second and maybe stop the video at this time. Try this problem and then come back, right? Because that's a really good way to study mathematics, is to perhaps stop the video if you happen to be watching a video, try the problem, and then see what the result is going to be. I'm not going to go through this process for this one. We'll make it a little bit shorter and sweeter. Okay, so we'll try this one out. So 64, 56, and 16. What do you guys think? 8? I think 8 will work. Let's try 8. Let's pull out an 8. And you see here that there is not an r common to each of these terms, so it looks like 8 is all that we'll be pulling out, and we're going to be left with 8r cubed minus 7r plus 2, and there you go. All right, guys. Hope that helped. Good luck with greatest common factors.